3x minus into parenthesis -6 or equals to 30 here. Normally when you have these two operations over here, that's where the students struggle. We can go ahead and we can put one over there, and then a kind of -1 times -6, and then that is indeed is going to be +6 and is equals to 30. And then from here it becomes easy for them. They know that they have to make here 0, so they subtract 6 here, and they have to do the same thing here. When they do that, this becomes 0, that goes away, and then 30 minus 6 become 24. But literally one number multiplied 3 will give us 24, or we can say that we divide here because we want to solve for x and it's being multiplied, so we divide here by 3 and we repeat the same thing here, and that goes away, leaving us with 8, and we are done. Okay, so here too, anytime you have two operations, we cannot have addition and subtraction in the same kind of back to back with them, so one of them have to prevail. It's going to confuse you. You can put 1 here, and then you see that this is looking at it individually. You can say this is a positive 1 times -5x, and then you realize that positive times negative will be -5x equals -19. Here you subtract and you see that the negative is bigger than the positive, so the answer have to be negative. So -x or -1x equals to -19, and you want to solve for x, but you have a number here, so you divide both sides by that number, which is -1, and you divide here by -1. Negative cancel -1, and 1 cancel, or it turns into 1, which is basically is x here. Negative cancel negative, and then they give you 19 right here.
All right, so we have this kind of linear equation to solve. Most of the time, this question can really throw off student because one variable is here and the variable is also on the right hand side. They don't know what. We're going to look at all the two instances, how you can able to solve this one. So we want to combine like terms. We realize that we have x here and we have another x here, and that's what we have to solve. So let's bring them together. So it doesn't matter, you can bring it to left and right, but here is really good if you eliminate the 8x, so that we will have the -15 on this side. So we have 8x. That means I want to make here 0, so I subtract 8x here, and I repeat the same thing here. So it goes away. And here we have -5x. We want to solve for x. It's being multiplied by -5, so we divide here by -5, and we repeat the same thing here. It cancels out, it turns into 1. And here, negative cancel negative. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Here, if we want to write as a standard, then you say x is equals to 3. And you're done. Let's look at the other instances where the students see it to be problematic. So at this point, they want to bring everything to the left-hand side. That's what they are used to. Okay, we will subtract 3x here, and we'll repeat the same thing here. Now, here it's gone. And if they don't know if they're supposed to put 0, here is 0, so we can put 0 over there. So we can say here is 0. And then here become 5x minus 15. Yes, at this point you can still do it. That means you have to eliminate this -15 here, so we add 15, and you have to add 15 on the right hand side. You got your 5x, this 10 is 0, and then you get 0 plus 15 becomes 15. You divide both sides by 5 because you want to solve for x. Repeat the same thing here. It goes away, and give you 3. So you got the same answer, but here you got to be careful because when they subtract the 3x minus 3x, some of them don't know that it is 0. They should put a 0 over there, and 0 is also a whole number so that they can bring the 15 over. So that's where it throws them off. So guys, pay attention with that. Okay, so let's look at another instances here too. So as we have been doing, since we have 3 outside here, we could say let's divide here by 3 and here by 3. But I realize that 5 is not divisible by 3, so this way is going to be a little problematic. If you know what you're doing, you could carry it on and you can able to do it. But it's going to be a fraction, and that will be really difficult for you. So here, the best way is that we are going to distribute. So it's going to be 3 times x. You bring your plus and 3 times 4, which is equals to 5x. You get your 3x plus 12 equals to 5x. Now, at this point, we are in the same situation as with the previous question. The best way is take the smaller to the bigger to avoid all that. So we will subtract 3x here, and we will repeat the same thing here. This 10 into 0, leaving us with 12. And here, 5 minus 3, leaving us with 2x. Divide here by 2, repeat the same thing here. 6 is equals to x, which you can write it as x is equals to 6, and you're done.
Okay, so here we have another question on board here. So many strategies that we can able to use to solve this one. So first of all, we want to solve this x here is inside the parentheses. We need to get rid of this and we need to get rid of that, and basically this one. So first of all, let's get this rid of the 2. How do we get rid of 2? It's positive, so we subtract equal amount. That will make it 0. So this goes away, leaving us with 5x minus 9 equals to, here is negative negative, so you put them together and you give it negative, so negative 20. Let's get rid of this. That will be much easier. We will look at other way should I be able to do it, but let's get rid of this. It's multiplying, so for you to get rid of multiplication, you are applying the inverse operation. We divide, so we repeat on both sides of it. This turns into 1. That means basically goes away, and we got this. Negative 20 divided by 5 will give us negative 4. And then from here, last task that we have to do, we have to get rid of the negative 9. We are going to add to make it 0. So we add here 9 and we add here 9. And this goes away, becomes 0. Our x is isolated, that's our intention. And here you have negative 9 plus 9, negative 4 plus 9. The negative is smaller, the positive is bigger, so that means the answer have to be in positive, which is positive 5. So as I said, here we could have also distribute. So distributing, that means you multiply the 5 to over the subtraction. 5 times x would have been 5x. Then 5 times negative 9 would have been negative 45. And then is equals to negative 20. Now we want to get rid of the negative 45, so we will add here 45 and repeat the same thing here, 45, and then that will go away, leaving us with 5x equals to, here, negative 20 plus 45. The positive is bigger, so the results have to be positive, so 25. And then we would have divide here by 5, divide here by 5, goes away, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. So you see that give us the same answer. So whichever route that you go, you will get the same answer. I'm going to show 2 ways that we can able to do this. So the easy route, let's go ahead and add this in the parentheses here, and the 9 plus 8 would have given us 17, and is equals to 34, and is the same as 17x, which is equals to 34. Then here, now 1 number times 17 will give us 34. It's basically you are dividing. That would have given us 2 here. If we want to look at alternate method, we could also say that here we want to distribute. So if we distribute, then we would have get 9x plus 8x, which would have been 34 here, and we will get 17x, which would have been 34 here. And now here we divide here by 17, divide here by 17, and x is equals to 2 as we got in other method. So this is not really strange, but I mean, you never know, some student when they see the question, because it's minus minus, I mean, something. And so here, let's show the right way of doing it. Now we need, this is just a two-step. We need to get rid of this, and we need to get rid of this so that this can be isolated. So here we add 4, and we have to repeat the same thing here. This 10 into 0, we got negative 3x here, and that gives us 15. So now we divide both sides by negative 3, repeat the same thing here. That goes away, and 15 divided by 3 is 5, but there's negative involved, so negative comes in there. So we have this negative 2 standing outside the parentheses, so let's go ahead and divide here by negative 2, divide here by negative 2. This one would have go away, leaving us with x minus 14 equals to, so here would have 24 divided by 2 would give us 12, and basically the negative give us that. And then the last step, we just add here 14 because we want to get rid of that, and we have to do the same thing here, and that goes away. And here the 14 is bigger and it's positive than the 12, so that will give us 2 as an answer. If we want to use the other method, so the distributive, we distribute this over the subtraction, so that would have given us negative 2x plus negative times negative would have given us positive 28, and then here 24. We want to get rid of this. It's positive, so we subtract to make it 0, and we have to repeat the same thing. Then that goes away, we get negative 2x here, and here we get negative 4. And then finally we divide both sides by negative 2, so that this will go away, giving us with 2, positive 2. So whichever way, we'll get the same answer. Okay, so let's look at this last one here. I believe after all this process, now you got it. You could have paused and then do this one on your own. And I believe now you're getting the procedure. The negative alone here is going to confuse you. You want a number beside it. You can put 1 over there. It doesn't change anything. And then let's look at the first method that we could apply this. We could have divide here by -1, and we have to repeat. Whatever we do, we have to repeat on the other side because we don't want to change the question. And then this will go away, leaving us with 5 plus x. And because it's divided by -1, it would have been -27. And finally, we subtract 5 here, subtract 5 here. This 10 into 0, or cancels away as you guys said, and here would have been -32. If we want to distribute, if that's also fine, we distribute the -1 over the addition, so that one would have given us -5, then negative x, or you can say -1x if that's gonna help, then 27. And then we want to get rid of 5, so we add here 5 and we add here 5. This goes away, we get -1x is equals to 32, and we just transfer the negative over there, or you say divide here by -1, divide here by -1, and that one would have given us the -32. So you get the same answer whichever way that you go, provided you're following the mathematical way. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to subscribe if you haven't done so, and see you in the next video. Be blessed.